Look, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. You know this is another video about Gavin Lux. I'm not trying to be here and be a hater on the internet. I'm not just trying to be mean or be rude or be spiteful towards somebody I barely know. I like Gavin Lux. I think he's a good kid. I think he really wants to produce for this team. But I also think I know right now, it's not happening. It might not happen this year, but I think continuing to do what we're doing, what we're seeing, running him out there day after day, letting him just flounder. He's 0 for July so far, the batting average down to 211. It's a struggle. It's painful. It sucks to watch, and I'm sure it's even worse for Gavin. Like I say in this video, he's got to hear people like me, other people online talking about him. He doesn't want that. I don't want to be I would rather be talking about him and his all-star campaign, but that's not the reality. And yes, I understand he's coming off of an injury, but maybe if the injury is affecting your play, you should be at AAA. You should be working on your game, working on yourself. And I think, and that's just what I try to express in this video you're about to watch, I think him being here is just not good for the future of his career. Let him go down to AAA. Let him get the good vibes going. Let him get some confidence in his game going again. Hitting against some minor league pitching. Their minor league pitchers are pitchers too. He starts feeling good. The good vibes roll. Maybe that means he comes back to the big leagues sometime in August, sometime in September. Takes a stranglehold of a job and runs with it. But for now, what we're seeing with Gavin Lux isn't working, and that's what we get into here on this edition of the All Dodgers podcast. We play a clip from Friday's show, Friday's All Dodgers live stream with myself and producer Kevin. Check it out. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think the Dodgers should do with Gavin Lux? Do you think they can trade him? Is he a tradable asset? Or should they hold on to him and hope he figures something out at second base, maybe shortstop in the future? Again, I don't know. I don't know what his future is with this organization, but we're going to talk through it here on another edition of the All Dodgers podcast. But first, before we get into it, I got to tell you, BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, like we watch, golf, like maybe you watch, you got soccer, everything right on up to the top fights in UFC, MMA, in boxing, every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads while games are being played. You can get those at BetOnline. When the game's over, head on over to their online casino. Get in on a game of blackjack. Get in on the action with a game of poker. Unwind with one of over 150 slot machines at BetOnline. Head to the website today. Get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE, that is BLEAV, for a 50% a free bet credit on your first deposit. There's the words right there. 50% free credit up to $250. That's as good as money right there. So bet online. The game starts here. Guys, it's Dodgers. I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you. This is, friend to friend here. The Gavin Lux experiment, it needs to end. At this point, entering play on Friday, 216 batting average, getting on base at a 269 clip. No slug, no power to speak of in 231 bats. That would be fine. That would not be an issue if he can find a way to get on base, if he can do his job at the bottom of the lineup, get some hits, get some knocks, keep the line moving, but he can't do that either. We were told the line of demarcation of us learning about, Gavin Lux and them kind of making a decision was going to happen at 150 at-bats. He's now had, 230 some odd at-bats. So at the 150 at-bat mark, thereabout, he was hitting 213 with a 560 OPS. In 84 at-bats since, he's hitting about the same. He's at 216 and it was a 554. I forgot to type it into my notes. Long story short, he's not good at hitting major league pitching right now. And it hasn't gotten much better since the 150 at-bat mark. So there are guys at AAA. We've talked about them a little bit here already in the stream. There are guys at AAA who are playing to try to make it to the major league level. There are guys playing at AAA that are doing well and deserving of an opportunity at the big league level. Maybe they can help, maybe not, but they deserve to. They've earned this chance, this opportunity to at least get a look at at the big league level. They deserve a shot. And not just Andre Lipsius. We've talked a lot about Lipsius, and he's been great with the bat. The defense, sure, it's probably a little bit of a struggle. Still, I'm okay with that. If you can get a bat in there, you figure it out. You can work your way around at least just getting a bat in the lineup with Lipsius. Little bit of a streaky guy, but again, he's earned it. He's earned this opportunity. He's earned this shot. Reward him for rewarding your team for him sticking around when he was DFA'd and then released. He could have been, a free agent, but he chose to stick around to your club. He's like, I want to play there. I want to be that guy that maybe can help. Anyways, I've gone on too long with Lipsius. Another guy, Austin Gauthier, who has played really solid infield for the Oklahoma City team at AAA, and he's got a nice enough bat. OPS just under 800, hitting 272 at AAA so far this season. He's another one of those guys we've talked a bunch about this week, myself and Scott and Kevin as well, talking about the older prospects in this organization. I think, Kevin, Gauthier, he's a, 26, 25-year-old prospect? Like, he's at a point where he should be playing. He's earned an opportunity to at least, get a cup of coffee. And
25.
And 25 years old. My mother, God rest her soul. I just want to fly, and I want to get him on a plane from Oklahoma City to Los Angeles because he can't be worse than Gavin Lux, can Austin Gauthier. Cody Hosey, another one. He's a former first-round draft pick for this Dodgers organization. Fell on hard times in his minor league career. Found something this year, putting the pieces together. Still, like I was expecting the production.
He's about to be 27 too.
Yeah, and he's another older that's an old ass prospect. But we've seen it work. Former Dodger fan favorite Casey Blake didn't start getting regular playing time until he was 29. Justin Turner didn't start getting regular playing time until he was like 29, 30, 28, whatever it was. Some of these guys, they can come up, they can be buried. Christian fucking Walker didn't start getting regular playing time until he was in his mid to late 20s. Cody Hosey may have taken him some time, but he's figured it out. 304 average on the season, 835 OPS. Tell me he could not be better in the lineup than what Gavin Lux is getting you right now. Another couple outfield dudes, give them some opportunities. I mentioned him a couple months ago. Drew Avans continues to hit well. Ryan Ward continues to hit well. Both different profiles. Drew Avans, more of a speedy guy. Ryan Ward, he's got some pop. He's got some bomba. Somebody, if they're going to look at Miguel Vargas as an infield option again, hey, you need another outfielder to help you out with some pop off the bench. Those are both guys who are putting in the work, putting together the production that says they should be playing at the major league level over Gavin Lux. And the whole section here, the whole segment is overreactions. It's tongue in cheek because sometimes it's an apt reaction, it's an earned reaction. This is just the facts. Gavin Lux should not be playing at the big league level right now. And I don't think I'm not just saying this to be a dick. The numbers say he's not earning it. The numbers tell you that maybe he needs a blow, as the team likes to say, to go play at AAA, get his head back on straight. I love one of the things that Scott Gearman said this week on the channel, like the fact that Lux's yips and struggles uprooted this whole plan and moved a 31-year-old right fielder from second base immediately to shortstop because they're so high on Gavin Lux. He's not earning this runway. Lux is not earning this runway. I don't think this runway they're giving for him is good developmentally, even as old as he is now. And I think I'll throw another number at you. What is it? He's another 25, 26 guy. Yeah, I understand he's coming off of an injury. I understand, you shouldn't lose your job to an injury, but you should lose your job to poor performance. And if he's playing well on the defensive side, that's fine. They could find somebody else to do that. But I want to see him maybe he goes to AAA. Maybe he finds something, maybe just being away from the bright lights of Los Angeles, the big league level. Maybe it sparks something, maybe it fuels something, maybe he feels good and he figures it out and he comes back and produces again. But he has option years remaining. and the Dodgers need to use it. Gavin Lux, I'm sorry. Maybe you're this year's Miguel Vargas, who was the second baseman last year all the way up until the All-Star break, and then very shockingly earned, but shockingly, like abruptly shocking, they sent him out. They optioned him, and then we never saw him again last year. I'm hoping that is something the Dodgers consider doing with Gavin Lux, because I'm sorry, it's time. It's time. It's time. Thank you to come to my TED Talk.
Thanks for the TED Talk. No, I agree. It's funny enough, he actually has like positive. He's a positive WAR player. It's only 0.3, but he's got 0.3 WAR. I don't know how. I mean, it's mostly defense, but
yeah,
it's tough when every time he comes up to the plate, you pretty much know what's going to happen. He's just going to roll it over right to the second baseman. And we can't have that. He doesn't use the opposite field at all. He can't get any lift on the ball at all. I don't know why. I have no idea why I'm not saying that hitting a ball is easy, but he can't do anything really besides hit it to, down between first and second base. Yeah. And unless it's a seeing eye grounder, it's an out every single time. And it's a rally killer. That specific profile is a rally killer because if you have a man on first, it is a tailor-made double play. If he could even just go the other way with it, that'd be huge, but he can't. And I'm not saying it's easy to do that, but he hasn't even, like, if you've never looked at Gavin Lux's spray chart or lack thereof, go to StatCast, do it. It's ugly. There's not a lot to left field. There really isn't. There's a lot of stuff that lands at the outer edge of the infield dirt. And
the things that you usually see that are like center field or whatever, they're those weird end of like their end cap little flare jobs into the outfield. That's what I've seen. Because I mean, we talked about it here on the channel too. Like it's a violent swing, but it's not a very it's not a very
it's not under
sound
control.
swing. It's not under control. Great way of putting it. Yeah.
I mean, why? Even if he kept two hands on the bat during his follow through, it would at least look better. But when he's releasing it with one hand, he's getting the end of the bat, and he's like in the first percentile in barrel rate. You kind of look at that swing and go, yeah, I get it. He doesn't have a lot of barrel control.
Yeah.
But to your point, there's a lot of guys you'd like to see. I don't see them optioning Gavin Lux. What I end up thinking he's involved in a trade package. I think they just kind of get him out of the organization. I think they need to anyway. I think when Mookie's back, I think they just want to stick him at second so Lux doesn't have a place on the roster. I don't see them throwing him at AAA. They're going to keep giving him run. For what it's worth, at least I complain when this doesn't happen, but at least he plays good defense. At least it looks good defensively. He can give you that. So, maybe another organization gives him a better profile. Who would want Lux? Diane Schroeder. A lot of teams would want a Gavin Lux.
I saw somebody else in the chat saying maybe he just doesn't profile as a player who should be in LA. Maybe just somewhere where the lights aren't as bright.
A lot of teams would want Gavin Lux. Traditionally speaking, your second baseman isn't supposed to hit very hard anyway. It's just magnified a lot when you have a roster like the Dodgers, and when the goods are going good, everybody loves it. When things are going bad, it's under a microscope. And Gavin Lux, who would want what team names? Milwaukee, Chicago.
Yeah,
like a lot of the NL Central teams.
Jack said no to AAA for Lux, yes to the White Sox for Lux. So Southside, come on down.
I mean, he's defensive upside for sure.
Yeah.
Milwaukee could do with that profile. They just sound like a pairing of him and Adames. That would just be elite center field. I know the Cubs want to move off Nico Horner. They could reset with Lux. I mean, he's cheap. He's under a lot of years. Like, guys, you have to think about that. Like, he's got quite a few years of team control. He's not expensive. He plays good defense. If he randomly runs into a few balls, any team would like that.
Yeah.
Or at least most teams that, like, the Rangers wouldn't because they have Marcus Semien.
Yeah, and if
the Padres wouldn't because they have an infinite number of infielders. But a lot of teams like a controllable, young player that plays good defense. I mean, good Lord, even the Dodgers would kind of kill for that because all of the guys we've named can't play defense. And that like, if Austin Gauthier could play like really good defense, he'd already be on the big league club. Same with Lipsius. He'd be at the big league level if he could play defense.
Yeah.
Miguel Vargas would be an everyday at bat if he could play defense. So defense will keep him in the major leagues. He's going to be in the major leagues for a long time. So it's probably not going to be in LA.
Yeah, I agree with both sentiments of it. I don't know what teams really actively want him, but at the same time, he's definitely, he's not a marketable player, but he's a desirable player. That's the word.
He's every organization. If you walk up to an organization and go, give me an ideal second baseman, like we want a good defender with upside on the bat. Not every team has a Marcus Semien.
We've seen him hit. We know we've seen him hit. The problem is right now, and this is what I was saying, before with the whole idea of sending him to AAA. It's like, if it's something mental, maybe just getting that good feeling and finding something that clicks for him, maybe that helps. Maybe that happens at AAA. And yeah, we know the numbers will be artificially inflated because it is the PCL, that the numbers just automatically get inflated. Look at Diego Cartaya, who's all of a sudden a very good hitting prospect again since he's gone to AAA.
Let's go. Yes.
But good feelings. It's about the good feelings. It's about the good vibes. Lux is a big-time vibes guy. It's an opportunity to help him get fixed. Another thing that really is tough with Lux is he's not what am I looking for? He's limited. He's only a second baseman. And if we're reading the tea leaves, the Dodgers already have a second baseman for the next 8 to 9 years or whatever's left on that contract. It's Mookie Betts. So Lux doesn't have a spot. Mookie is not going to be playing shortstop for the Dodgers in 2025. Maybe some spot starts here and there, but he's not going to be their guy. The Dodgers are going to sign a shortstop this offseason. It's going to be a Willy Adames. It's going to be somebody who is a free agent. It's not going to be Mookie, and it's clearly not Lux because they can't go into another season saying Lux is going to get that spot. So the limitation as well. He's not a Dodger. I think I saw somebody, or it was you. There it is. Pika Peep says, problem with Lux, he's just not Dodger material, saying this the smaller market. But he's not Dodger material because Dodgers play a little bit of everywhere. And if he's limited to second base, that guides him even more so out of LA. But let's play around with the whole idea of Mookie moving back to right field again, just for funsies. And if Lux can go to AAA, find something that clicks, bring it back to him, carry that good feeling, then he can plug back in at second base. And that's where we get back to the whole thing. It's like, if X, then maybe Y. But Z is also a possibility. I don't feel very confident in Gavin Lux being in the lineup. If he wants to play second base, that's cool. We can get a designated hitter, and he could just play the defense for that hitter or something. I don't know. It's trouble.
The other thing is if, and it's asking a lot, but if the other 8 guys on the roster were hitting well, you can absorb a Gavin Lux playing second base. The issue also lies in the fact that you're relying on Chris Taylor, Kike, to also, and Jason Hayward at points, to also bat along with Gavin Lux. So all of a sudden, it's not one black hole, it's 4.
Yeah.
That's the other. So there are ways of masking what Gavin Lux is doing. And, if the rest of the roster, is hitting to the back of the baseball card, as Dave would love to say, then this isn't an issue, but it is. If this was, this was the 21 team where everyone was going crazy and we didn't, we could handle 1 or 2 black holes. Yeah. I don't think any of us would really care because we would just be happy that Gavin Lux was giving us good defense. But because there are other holes on this roster, the most movable piece besides DFA and Kike and Kevin Biggio is trading Gavin Lux because Chris Taylor's contract's not going anywhere.
Are we done with Lux for now? There's nothing we're going to do.
I feel bad. I also want to put out there, I harbor no ill will towards Gavin Lux. I was very much on the wanting him on the roster, giving him a lot of run, but like you mentioned, it's been long enough, and it's just not working.
This isn't me trying to be a dick. I do truly, in my heart of hearts, think that him going to AAA will help his career, or being not at second base, or being just not in the lineup in LA right now. I think it helps his career because the longer he just keeps kind of, floundering and treading water, and hearing assholes like me on the internet talk about him, it's just more detrimental to his mental health of it. But the reality is, he's one of the problems, and he's one of the more clear problems when it comes to offensive production in the lineup, at least at the moment. It's a very clear spot. Third base has multiple guys that are offensive issues, so you can't pick on one guy. But Kevin Biggio, I would send him to the moon yesterday. Chris Taylor, if it's not my money, I would have DFA'd him a month ago. If you want to try to put together the best possible 26 dudes on the roster.